The Sonic's ass game. I mean Crash Bandicoot. During the PlayStation era he worked himself up to the level of Mario and Sonic, together with Spyro, but after he dominated one generation of consoles, he slowly faded away into nothingness, only to be revived again in 2017, given another chance at life. So far we've only seen him return in the HD remaster of the original good old days. While we wait for more Crash Bandicoot in the future, let's look back at the 5 best games in this list. Crash Bandicoot 1. There's a very good reason I'm starting this list off with this game, and an even better reason why you're not seeing footage of the original game, and that's because I just can't deal with the original game at all. While people were, let's call it, mildly upset about the Insane trilogy playing ever so slightly different when it was first released, this game needed it, man. The platforming in general is just so much better. Yes, a couple of things did become more difficult, but you know what? It doesn't matter, because in this version you can actually fucking save. When you get a game over, you don't have to restart the whole goddamn game, and you don't have to play every level perfectly to get a gem, which was one of the only ways to save in the original game. Another was finishing a bonus stage, but if you were to fail it, you couldn't get back in unless you restarted the level. Well, that's been fixed too. Don't get me wrong, I'm aware of the fact that this game is well over 20 years old and things were different back then. Games like Crash Bandicoot and Rayman were difficult and unforgiving because that meant you got a good amount of playtime out of it. Hell, even Super Mario Bros. Had this design philosophy. The thing is, it just didn't age well. The look and feel of the game, even the gameplay itself, isn't all that dated, but the design of the game, the save system and the general philosophy behind the game just makes me want to cry. Luckily, playing the game in HD is a lot of fun. All these issues have been fixed while maintaining things like the original art direction and levels, combined with a more modern game design that actually makes this game worthy of this place on this list. It's near the bottom though, since it did need the HD remaster, otherwise it wouldn't be nowhere near this list at all. Crash Bandicoot, Wrath of Cortex. People tend to hate this game since it's the first game not to be made by Naughty Dog, and yes, there is some real problems with this game. It's all over the place, the levels are so varied you don't even get a chance to build up skill in them. Yet, levels do get more difficult. The loading times are horrible and the vehicle controls could be better, though I must admit some of them, like the hamster ball, actually do feel pretty good. The thing is, Crash Bandicoot 3 has some of these problems too, and people seem to like that game. And how about the boss fights? This game has great boss fights. They're original in design and well executed. Yes, they are all the same character with different powers, but that's just it. The character might have the same name, but that doesn't mean it's the same fight every time, not even close. Every fight uses a different mechanic, and it does it well. Crash Bandicoot has never been praised for its boss fights because, let's be honest, they're usually not that good. But Wrath of Cortex actually crafted some pretty good fights for you to enjoy, even if the game as a whole isn't the holy grail of 3D platforming like some other games that came before. I may not make a lot of friends by saying this, but I just can't see any case for this game being worse than the original. It's funny, this game hasn't changed much with age, and it's decent when it was released, and it's still decent to this day. The original Crash was amazing at its release, but has become worse and worse over the years. In a way you could say these games are opposites. I will admit though, both aren't a great place to start if you want to try getting into Crash Bandicoot, and both aren't games I play again anytime soon, given there's better Crash games out there for sure. Crash Team Racing. Okay, now we can get to the point where I stop complaining. Took long enough, didn't it? It just comes natural to me, okay? This game though. Damn, this game. It may not be a platformer, but that's exactly why I'm so surprised. How can the same development team make 3 platforming games, great ones too, and then move to a kart racer, not have a third-party developer do it, and still make an amazing game? This is some kind of black magic, I tell you. The story mode of this game has a little story to offer. I mean, obviously, that's not the main draw to this game. There's also not a huge roster of characters until you unlock them, and then you can use them in the multiplayer modes. It would have been nice if after 100% completing the game, you were offered some kind of new game plus where you can play as these unlockable characters. I guess that does run into issues where you can play as bosses you have to face, but honestly, I don't care if I get one race where I have to face a clone of myself. That would even be kinda cool, and maybe it could do some extra things with dialogue options for that. The items are mostly what you would expect given any kart racer game. Road hazards like vials and TNT, a boost, a weapon to throw at racers, this comes in two varieties, a bomb and a missile. Invincibility, nothing too special there. But what this game does very well is upgrading those items when you get 10 Wumpa fruits. These fruits increase your max speed, but when you fill up on them, invincibility lasts longer, vials gain an extra effect, missiles go faster and are ever so slightly more accurate in homing, TNT turns into nitro which instantly explodes. Long story short, items get a lot better. Then there's the racetracks themselves. You of course start out every track by doing a normal race where you want to finish in first, but after that you can also do time trials and token challenges. Time trials is what it sounds like. You just finish the race as fast as you can while breaking crates that stop the timer for 1, 2 or 3 seconds respectively. Breaking them all will get you a bonus of 20 seconds removed from your total time too. So even if a crate doesn't seem worth it to get since it'll take more time than it saves, if you get them all, it's always going to be worth it. The token challenge has you raising the level again. You of course have to win again, but now also collect 3 tokens scattered around the track. Usually these will either be out of the way so you have to make up for lost time, or they'll actually show you shortcuts you might not have found while normally racing. Altogether this game makes it great fun and is one of the better kart races and one of the better Crash Bandicoot games for sure. Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped. Another entry which won't make me a lot of friends, I imagine. Yes, this is the number 2, and yes, that means I don't think this is the best game in the series. Fucking sue me. That being said, this game controls so smoothly. The movements Crash has maintained from his previous game, added with all the extra abilities he picks up throughout this game, makes for a great platforming fun. After every boss, Crash gets a new ability. Some aren't that interesting. I mean, a Wumpa Fruit Bazooka is fun to shoot at enemies and makes for some time trial high level strategies. Also, it's just fun to play with and allows for some more creative level design ideas. But the double jump and the tornado vortex of death, or as it's officially called, wait, it's actually called the Death Tornado Spin. I didn't expect that. These moves make for some satisfying platforming. When combined, they make you unstoppable and have you cross any gap imaginable. The way Crash Bandicoot 3 helps you get used to his powers is also very nice. After getting them, they help you navigate a more difficult platforming in the second half of the game, but mastering them is done in the bonus stages. Nothing mandatory unless you want to 100% the game, of course. These bonus levels allow you to die as many times as needed until you have a solid grasp of these abilities. First in a simple, controlled environment, then in more dangerous ones. Mind you, death has no real consequences in these parts, so it's not that dangerous after all. And when you've mastered it by doing some difficult challenges in the bonus stages, it's time to combine the powers in the last few levels of the game. Then, after you defeat the final boss of the game, it's time to get a last upgrade, the Crash Dash, which is just faster running. Now it's time to take care of the time trials, which were introduced originally in this game, and you can tell. This game feels so good to speedrun with these running shoes, it's insane. I come back to this game about once a year to replay it. I generally speaking will 100% the game since I love it so much, but there's one game in this series I just love that little bit more. Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back. While I have not many complaints about Crash 3, I have none about Crash Bandicoot 2. Maybe it's difficult at times, but the only parts that are really difficult are few and far between, and of course, all optional. Okay, the jetpack levels are a little random and control less than great, but let's ignore that for now. The main reason I enjoy this game more than its sequel is really because the game has a lot more focus. Crash 3 has a lot of different gameplay styles, where this game only really has 2, and the jetpacks. There's your normal platforming levels, by far most of them, and then there's the polar bear levels. The chase levels also make a return from Crash Bandicoot 1, but Crash is still running away, the only difference being he runs towards the camera and you can't see all that well what's coming up. Nothing else really has changed here. It's a brilliant way to make something unique and different without changing too much and making it feel unfamiliar. And because there's so little difference in basic gameplay, it makes a lot of sense for these ideas to combine when you've got a feel for both of them, which results in you running towards the camera at high speeds while riding a polar bear, honestly one of the greatest levels in the game. I want to mention though, me saying there's not a lot of variation in the basic gameplay doesn't by any means mean the game gets stale at any point. Your basic toolkit for Crash's movement stays the same, but the way you use it to execute jumping puzzles, defeat enemies and go through the levels changes. There's loads of different kinds of areas, all with their own kind of challenges. The temple levels are about precision platforming, while the sewer levels are more about pattern recognition. Ice levels are more so about in-the-moment jumps and longer sequences of platforming without much rest. They all have their own playstyle. I don't think there's a lot of games that will be able to touch the level of quality of this game, past, present or future. This game is up there, and if any of you have not played it yet, please go do so. Thank you for watching this countdown on this. What is your favorite Crash Bandicoot game? Let me know down in the comments below this video, and while you're down there, you might as well leave a like if you enjoyed this video and hit subscribe and the bell icon to keep up to date with all my new uploads. Until the next time, stay in school people, bye.